Citylink 682, severe turbulence at flight level tree 50, request lower.
Citylink 682, descend flight level tree 30.
Descending to flight level tree 30, Citylink 682.
Citylink 682, how are your conditions now?
Still moderate chop. We've experienced some severe jolts, no injuries. We've spoken with maintenance, and we'd like to divert to Southampton to get the airframe checked, please. Citylink 682.
In that tower, Charlie Delta Tower 13. Reporting wind shear at 800 feet. Airspeed loss 25 knots with significant port drift.
Charlie Delta Tower 13, roger. Continue approach.
Charlie Delta Tower 13. Negative. Going around.
What's the 2901? I think we've had a lightning strike on the port side.
Buzzer 2901, roger.
According to Met, we didn't expect any thunderstorm activity. Do you have an update on the weather? Buzzer 2901?
Buzzer 2901, stand by.
Ocean Fire 52. Climb and maintain altitude 10,000 feet on altimeter 29.89. Fly heading 270 degrees.
Climb and maintain altitude 10,000 feet, altimeter 29.89 on heading 270. Ocean Fire 52. Ocean Fire 52. Request higher or a new heading for immediate weather avoidance.
Ocean Fire 52. Stand by.
Ocean Fire 52. We must turn immediate right, heading 350 degrees, encountering intense weather showing on that westerly heading. There feels like a lot of Charlie Bravo activity around here.
The most severe icing encounter I've ever experienced happened once when I was doing mountain flying in a Dash 8200 model. It was -8 Celsius. This is the magic temperature. We started picking up supercooled large droplets at flight level 220. Within that first minute, we had accumulated so much ice we had lost 15 knots. I could barely see out my left window at the boots and propeller. In my experience, if you lose your windshield in the Dash, it shows the ice is getting behind the de-ice equipment. I had the ice system set at maximum, and I lost my windshield completely. The airframe was vibrating and shaking violently, and I knew we couldn't climb out of it in time. We requested lower, and when ATC cleared us, I dropped the props to 1200 RPM, switched off the autopilot, and dove down at 4,000 feet per minute. We finally broke out of IMC at 11,000, and ATC wanted us to contact the airport in sight, but I told them we needed to fly for a bit and get lower to melt all the ice, as I couldn't see out my window to land. So, before we move on, have any of you had an icing experience?
Mayday, 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 Varberg approach. Donia 28 Delta, altitude 8,000, descending.
Mayday 28 Delta, say again.
Mayday, 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 7,200, descending. Cannot control the aircraft. Donia 28 Delta.
28 Delta, roger Mayday. We have emergency services standing by in the area. Varberg Airport is about 5 miles northeast of you.
6,500. I'm just getting some control now. I'm indicating 80 knots. I'm trying to maintain airspeed. Mayday 28 Delta.
28 Delta, I show your ground speed as 160 knots. Maybe your pitot tube is frozen up.
I'm in the clouds. Altitude 6,000. Heading 040 degrees. I have control again now, but had to dive because we lost all the airspeed with no warning. 28 Delta.
28 Delta, roger. 28 Delta, radar shows more showers to the northeast of you. I don't know what the temperature is, but you might pick up some more icing.
United 883, overhead Talsi, passing altitude 5,000 feet in the descent. Temperature -2, -5 at 7,000. We do have some snow in the clouds.
United 883, did you pick up any icing on the descent?
A-firm, United 883.
United 883, roger. Descend and maintain altitude 4,000 feet. Cleared ILS approach, runway 0 Fower. Thanks for the report.
Cleared ILS approach, runway 0 Fower, United 883.
Mayday 28 Delta. There is a report of icing conditions to the east of you at 5,000. State intentions.
I'd like to proceed to Varberg. I have got the boots and heat on, and it seems to be okay. 28 Delta.
Mayday 28 Delta, readability 2. You might have ice on your antenna.
We've got some heavy rain and thunderstorms. Can we go north, Gulf Hotel 1559er?
Gulf Hotel 1559er, you can either go north or turn left and try and get south of it. My radar doesn't see as far as yours.
I'd like to go north. The weather appears to be moving south, so that's a pretty much better option right now. Gulf Hotel 1559er.
Gulf Hotel 1559er. Roger, what heading do you want?
Tree 15 or tree 20 degrees should be sufficient to clear it. Gulf Hotel 1559er.
Gulf Hotel 1559er. Turn right heading tree 20 degrees. All traffic. Runway 28 departure, wind shear alert. Runway 28 departure, microburst activity 1 mile north of centerline. 20 knots loss, range 5 miles. All traffic, SIGMET extreme weather warning. Severe precipitation, northwest of the field, moving eastbound, extending approximately 5 miles across. Gulf Hotel 1559er. We have a thunderstorm right over the airport right now. I can take you somewhere to hold or give you delaying vectors while you wait it out. We have a wind shear alert and microburst reports for runway 28.
Why don't you just give us vectors around it? Gulf Hotel 1559er.
Gulf Hotel 1559er. Roger, expect descent in a couple of miles and maintain your current heading. This will be vectors to the ILS for runway 28. There really isn't much once you go through the current area. Depending on what the wind does, we may be able to bring you in on runway 19er.
Roger. Keep us informed and let us know what works for you. We are maintaining tree 20 degrees. Gulf Hotel 1559er.
Gulf Hotel 1559er. Expect some delay. Vectors for now. Turn further right, heading tree 50 degrees. The thunderstorm should clear in the next 10 minutes or so, and we can bring you in behind it. Can you reduce speed to 200 knots?
Roger. We'll slow down to 200 indicated, heading tree 50 degrees and standing by for descent. Gulf Hotel 1559er.
Okay, let's first think about when a controller should use visual separation. ATC need to consider the following points before separating departing aircraft by visual means: aircraft performance, wake turbulence, closure rate, routes of flight, and known weather conditions. If successive departure routes or aircraft performance prevent the pilot from maintaining adequate separation, then don't apply visual separation of aircraft. Now, we need to consider a number of other factors. It must be day, the air traffic controller must have both aircraft in sight and must be in radio contact with at least one of them. The flight crew of the trailing aircraft must have the lead aircraft in sight and be informed of the lead aircraft's position, its direction of flight, and its crew's intentions. The pilots of the trailing aircraft must acknowledge sighting the lead aircraft, and they will then be instructed to maintain visual separation. It's important for the pilots of the trailing aircraft to remember that the tower controller will not provide visual separation between aircraft when wake turbulence separation is required. In controlled airspace with ATC radar coverage, the controller must inform the pilot of converging aircraft and VFR traffic. In cruise, when IFR and VFR aircraft are sometimes separated by as little as 500 feet, pilots must use appropriate avoidance procedures. Of course, the problem with wake turbulence is that it is nearly always invisible, so pilots need to anticipate where it might be. Remember, the weather is going to affect wake turbulence. If it's still, then there's more chance of wake turbulence occurring. Finally, remember your role. As air traffic controllers, you need to issue caution, wake turbulence warnings only. You are not responsible for anticipating the existence or effect of the condition.
What's it like to fly through a storm?
Well, actually, flying into a storm is pretty nasty for the passengers and can be pretty scary for us. Flying in stormy conditions is always a challenge, but when you get active storm clouds at high altitudes, when there's uplift and moisture in the clouds, it's really tough.
If you can't fly through them, do you fly around them?
Yeah, wherever possible. Flying through storms does happen, but I think most pilots would agree that it is pretty unusual to take an aircraft straight into a storm cell.
What do you do when you're faced with storms?
If there's a line of storm clouds to fly through, you usually go for a gap in the line. We have a radar on board which senses water droplets, so we can see storm activity up ahead and plan for it. When visibility is poor or you are flying at night, the radar is especially important. The problem is, the radar only senses water droplets. It can't see turbulence. So even if you fly around a storm, it could still be a bumpy ride.
We know bad weather causes a lot of delays for airlines. Are storms particularly disruptive?
Yeah, weather is usually in the top 3 reasons for delay. I once had to circumnavigate a large area of showers over the western Pacific, which was almost 300 nautical miles out of the way. Definitely the longest diversion I ever had to make.